All right, perfect. We have started the recording, so thank you, everyone, for joining in today. Actually, yesterday we had a session with another alumni from Bordeaux, Deepak from supply chain. He was our student a couple of years back. So most of the students who wanted to get information related to Bordeaux, I think they already got the information related to Bordeaux. But today, I think it's going to be, again, very important in two different perspectives. Number one, obviously, you're a current student, so most of the students would be able to relate to you because you are on campus. So all these students who would be coming to campus this year, they might have a chance to meet you in person, probably in 5, 6 months. That's number one. Number two, you are in Bordeaux, so you would know the current scenario of the city. So, for example, how does housing work? How does CAF work? Restaurants, travel, everything. So, it is always better to speak to, both kind of students who are alums who are working right
Yeah.
now and current students who are right now on campus. So this is why I think it's very interesting for students today. So I
I
think we
think
all,
I think more
yeah,
than just information about the city, if a candidate is interested in the course that I'm doing, I think it's an excellent time to interact with me and perhaps find information with the potential that we have, because I you are the master when it comes to what needs to happen here, and I followed your steps. It was super easy for me. So I'm hoping that in today's interaction, I would like to share my journey, and of course, questions related to the city and all are definitely I can entertain. But Prayag is the point of contact and made my journey super seamless. I didn't have to do anything, simply listen to him, and I think that somewhere there is resistance on the groups. At least when I was there, Prayag is saying one thing and people are doing exactly the opposite. So I'm quite sure that's going to be. I understand the plight. So yeah, I hope that there's some people here who are interested to find out a little bit more about the course that I'm doing and what we are offering here at KEDGE.
absolutely. So everyone, you already know the drill, how it works. So we start with Jahan, his introduction, his journey. And then, of course, if you have any questions, there would be two ways to ask him. Number one, you can raise your hands or you can write your questions in the chat. Rest assured, every question would be answered today. And at the end of this session, of course, you would have an opportunity to connect with Jahan and interact more. So let's start with you, Jahan. So just give us a brief introduction of
Yeah.
yourself. Um, it should probably include everything. What were you doing in India? Why did you go to KEDGE? What were the reasons of moving abroad? How has your experience been so far? You've been in France for almost what, 6 to 8, 7, 8 months, not more
8 months.
than
Yeah.
that.
Since yeah,
Yeah.
not more
So
than
so
that.
so how's been the journey? And there was a very interesting question yesterday. A student asked
Hmm.
to Deepak, and I'm gonna add that question
Yeah. Sure.
in this introduction. The question was, um, did you regret anything after moving to France? I think she was asking, did you regret your decision after moving to France? Okay, so this is just a follow-up question.
Yeah.
But anyway,
It's
over to you,
awesome.
Jahan. Yeah.
So I've worked in India for a bit. I've had a rather versatile career path. Training in yoga. I've done a bachelor in commerce. I've done a master of arts in philosophy. I've done a bit of entrepreneurship. And all of this process, just like all of you, I had a bunch of money saved up, and I decided, I'm going to explore and invest in myself. Um, France seemed to have this whole package of 2-year work visa, and I think it was an online application. My sister, who's on this call, Diva, she and I were just simply Googling, and I wanted to do something in import export. And I got international business that came up in my, uh, you know, Google find. And through that, I connected with Prayag, and I think he was instrumental in sort of uh, giving me information in a correct manner, timely. It seemed like, okay, something that I like, and uh, the scholarship, etc. Everything aligned with me. So that was a predominantly why Kedge and why France for me. I just wanted to explore opportunity abroad. The 2-year work visa was a big highlight for me because I didn't want to invest all this money and then come back to India or have some sort of you know stressed out time as it is in UK or I guess Germany right now. So this was predominantly where what I wanted to do. But what was rather interesting, what really changed it for me, and what I'm really grateful to Prayag for organizing, he managed to get a program director who is now my program director. His name is Gordon, and we organized a small dinner in my city in Pune. Uh, it was really interesting. Last year, I think Prayag we met I think 3 times even before we left, and it was just fantastic. I got to make a few friends before. I was ready to go to the Marseille campus, and I happened to meet this program director and his wife, and super cool, super informal. We just had a whole discussion, and after talking to him, and uh, I just fell in love, and I think Prayag could see it too. And I was like, "Damn it, I want to change my course." And this was, I think it was, I can't remember the date, but it was my entire thing was done. My admission fee was paid, the whole shebang. I was ready to apply for my visa. My ticket was booked. So it was this sort of humongous U-turn, and I decided to do it because of what Gordon spoke, what he resonated, and what resonated with me. And I think a lot of it is what I'm going to share with you all today, because i- you know it comes to a very important fact that if you don't know what you're doing, we often choose something like international business or perhaps something like marketing. But the absolute truth is, and I'm going to back it up with a lot of proof, is that companies right now are getting extremely lean and extremely refined. As you will attend your courses here in KEDGE, you all will experience that AI is not going to come to replace us, but it's certainly going to change the way we work. Just like our parents were working without the internet or without a website, and today it's almost impossible for us to think. So in this super specialized era, when we are working in this super specialized era, we realize that big companies have purchasing power. So they have this enormous ability to choose the best. Just like in our family, if somebody falls ill or if we inherit a huge sum of money, we don't treat ourselves or we don't invest it ourselves, right? We take a very calculated decision as to how do we spend this money and how do we get the best value for what we do. So this is where my course and my curriculum comes into play, where we are trained in observing and trying to execute this so-called act of purchasing. Companies in today's day and age are willing to pay for the best, they're willing to hire the best, and the best does exist. What does it mean? It means that if Kedge is going to hire somebody to clean the toilets, it's subcontracted. If they're going to hire somebody to cook in the kitchen, it is subcontracted. And these subcontractions have to be valued. We have to compare to 2 vendors, 3 vendors. Who are these vendors? These vendors are independent entrepreneurs in France who are willing to do work for profit. So it is us, the business, the buyer, that represent the business and the supplier and sort of make it happen. So, you know, it's super interesting to understand my journey here. I came in September. I took a small vacation with my family. I reached Bordeaux. I think I very quickly understood a couple of dynamics. One, that Kedge is a very rich school. It brings in about possibly the one or top 10% income holders of France. So an average French citizen who wants to study any subject, law, business, health, they can spend minimum 200 euros or something basic like that, and they can get into public university. They get the same benefits as any student. Yet we have French students who are paying for private education, an amount of up to 10,000, 20,000 euros, and they've been in the course since their L1, which is undergraduate. So they have invested almost 50 or 60,000 euros by the end of it. Now, what happens if we were just to observe and understand how these people are and how they think as French citizens? They're very well traveled, they're extremely well exposed to the world, they have a dynamic global mindset, and all of these things influence and shape a person like me. I'm 30 years old now. I've got a little bit of work experience, and I'm interacting with kids much younger than me, but absolutely fantastic way of thinking, completely open-minded, relaxed, composed. I find it rather shocking that they are so mature at this age. Of course, I'm a little partial to my course, to my program of purchasing, because I'm a firm believer that my it's very, very difficult to get into the MAI. If you're a French guy, uh, the acceptance rate is rather low. We are ranked, I think, number 2 right now, and for all these years we were ranked number 1 globally in terms of being a purchasing course. So, all of this, what am I trying to bring at? I'm trying to bring at the fact that when you come from India, when you're coming to Bordeaux, you're going to enter, or when you come to KEDGE, you're going to enter a very high powered, high impact environment. What does that mean? That means that the people coming there they have big money, they have been exposed to life, not just a small town or a city. They've traveled, they're worldly wise, they've done internships globally, and they bring all of this to the classroom. And they bring all of this to the classroom with finesse, with panache, with gusto, with enthusiasm. So it is up to us to stand out. Um, so this is I'm sorry for wavering. This is obviously not part of my introduction, but this is where I'm trying to head to. Where if I could request all of you guys to put in some effort into your soft skills, I think it is going to be extremely key and almost the most valuable intangible asset that you can hone as of now. So this sums up. I've come here. I've experienced my classrooms. Each of my professors have been working, except for one or two. Each of them are working in the corporate environment. I've had the ex-VP of Eureka. He was in charge of 2 billion spent. He teaches us. We've got someone global purchasing head from Sanofi. His name is Ashraf. He's been teaching us. We've got a person who's developing a purchasing AI tool. He is teaching us. So our faculty is not just coming and giving lectures. They're giving business case studies. They're really grilling us. They demand a lot, and I think the MAI, which is what my course is, Master Ashat International, the purchasing program. Gordon is the mastermind behind it, and he sort of curated this environment, which is which is making us sort of business hungry, business ready. It's a big myth that you're going to come here and just learn cost killing. You are entering, or rather, we all are entering, whether we like it or not, this whole era of replaceability, right? What does that mean? That means that if your task is mundane, if your task is nothing but administrative work, you are going to be replaced. It's a guarantee. It's going to happen. You can wait now and observe, but that's the truth. So what sets us apart from this replaceability? The opposite of that is accountability. Sure, AI can take a decision, but who's going to be held responsible for the decision? And that's going to be a human being. And what we are studying is not just purchasing, because it's purchasing and innovation management. And to be able to innovate, you have to first have confidence in yourself. You have to have not just a microscopic vision, but a rather broader vision. And it's not easy for someone to set a curriculum to bring a bunch of guys from all over the world and make them innovators, right? So to be accountable in this highly replaceable world or highly AI changing work dynamic, we are in the cusp, and I'm so glad people are coming to get educated at this point, because at this point you're going to see that the environment is it's getting intense. I mean, you can submit your assignment using ChatGPT, nobody cares over here, but they're going to take a defense. And when they take a defense, they're not going to mess around. The questions, they grill you. And you can ask me, you can check with my peers. We really get scared. I mean, outside we are acting cool and funny, but inside they do not mess around. And I think it's very important for all of you, because each of you, I'm sure, my thought was when I was applying, what Prayag is doing is the easiest step of the journey. I cannot repeat it. I'm going to repeat it multiple times. Prayag is spoiling you. He is hand holding. He is making this rather easy, and enjoy it. Just relax. It's all going to be smooth. I was last minute. I changed my course. God knows what all. My housing got sorted. My CAF got sorted. I'm quite disorganized in other things. But so enjoy this process. You are lucky. It's going to be, as long as you have Prayag in the group, it's like super smooth. You come in here and welcome to the jungle. It is going to, you're going to get, you're going to experience a lot of shocks. So I hope that by the end of my or end of our conversation, I can prepare you guys a little bit for a little bit of reality. Not everything is sugar coated, because you all have committed, right? At this stage, you're committed people. So now, if you're committed at this point, you really have to step up your game. If you cannot understand simple administrative processes of your application here, it's all in English. You guys are going to suffer tremendously opening a bank account and getting things sorted, because people make errors everywhere. So my humble advice to everyone is, get super smart right now. Consider your visa application, etc., just a matter of training. Being handheld and spoon fed is great. Enjoy it, because once you come here, uh, no, there's no one for you. You have to become independent. You have to become smart. And I think it's an absolutely amazing. You're coming into a strange land. You're going to train yourself. Um, we'll discuss more about this, but I would just like to wrap up, and maybe Praya can help streamline this conversation a little bit. I think I'm getting too broad. So, Prayag, anything that I haven't covered, or you want me to reiterate or perhaps explain on, please let me know.
Yeah, no worries. I think you covered pretty much everything, and you talked about your journey from India to France, and why do you actually choose this program school, and you also shared your experiences of the entire process from India to France, and you transitioned into that process. I know some of you, for some of you, not probably for all of you, it can be overwhelming at times, but this is precisely what we have been informing you in respective groups and both aspirants and admits, that you just need to relax and follow the process step by step. It's not a rocket science to study abroad. It's absolutely simple. You just need to, and that is what Jahan mentioned. Everything is in English. Don't worry. I mean, there are always questions which are surprising. For example, right now there is a webinar going on. I shared the link multiple times in the aspirants group, and just now there is a student who mentioned, can you share the webinar link? So there are always people
I
like that,
I
but it's
sympathize,
fine.
Prayag. I don't know
Yeah.
how. I was discussing with Gordon, and I said Prayag is a saint. He cannot be. You're not going to find another guy like him, because not only do you
There,
handle these questions, you have the patience, which wow.
there are always people like that. But anyway, so now we have some questions for you, Jahan. And these questions we will also try to basically understand your perspective. For example, if somebody is asking questions related to visa or a housing or internships or job search, they would also want to understand your
Yeah.
perspective. In fact, they would want to understand only your perspective, not mine, not somebody else's, not Gordon's.
Yeah.
So let's start with
Sorry,
Rahul.
before we
Yeah.
take questions, I would like to explicitly explain to everyone that it is KEDGE's duty to find you all an internship, right? It is part of the syllabus. You pay your fee for this. But I can promise you all that getting an internship isn't the start and end of it. What what you have to do, I have interviewed with about 8 companies. Each of these companies do a revenue minimum of $15 billion. Doesn't mean that I'm some great guy. What it means is that I'm part of an organization that brings high powered individuals to the table. And I can assure and promise each of you that each of those interviews made me feel like I'm inadequate as a person, because they were uh, brutal is the word I would like to use. Brutal. And the interview is not like, come and talk to me about yourself. It's, you've done a case study. The first priority, do the case study. Second, bring it. Third, explain yourself. Fourth, they act as if you have made some blunder and counter, negotiate with me. And any word you use, for example, you use the word strategic negotiation. God forbid you use that word. They'll break you down. What do you mean by strategy? What do you mean by negotiation? So, yeah, I can promise you, if you're going to come and think that, I'll come, I'm going to be a small group of Indians just chilling with Indian people, talk in Hindi, and, that's my culture. No one can be more proud Indian than I am. In fact, I'm so proud to be an Indian that I wish that KEDGE increases the standard of Indians coming, because we have to represent who we are and what talent we bring to the table. And I have a little bit of social observations that I have made as an individual here, and I'm rather shocked by the limitations of how we are, as because I know people. I have friends in India. I've got, in fact, more Indian friends than French friends. So obviously, I'm not an Indian hater, but what I'm seeing over here is people are not coming out of their shell, and it is precisely these people who are struggling to get an internship and to get opportunities. A small fact that is data backed: I've got 74 guys in my class. Uh, as of this date, I think 60 or 62 of them all have been successfully placed for internships starting from 6 months to 1 year. There are few candidates, 14 candidates, who haven't gotten, and out of these 14, two or three of them are lacking in soft skills. So that is an obvious red flag as to why they're not. and a few of them are refusing offers because they want to get into a particular niche. So if anyone is curious or not sure that okay, international business maybe, marketing maybe, but there's no real drive, I would urge you to try and apply for the purchasing program. You can try and apply, but do not think you're just going to get in, because the Nigel, who's in charge of taking the interviews, he's a taskmaster. He is extremely intelligent, and I really would urge top talent to come, because if you make the effort of getting into the MAI, I can assure you, you are going to get a paid internship maybe 6 or 7 months into doing your course. And why? It's the reasons I gave you all before, because this whole environment is created, and I like to party, I like to enjoy, I like to have fun with my friends. But when it comes to work and when it comes to performance, Kedge really tightens, they really tighten your button, especially my course. It's rather demanding. I'm shocked. And I've worked multiple years. So I'm like, whoa, where is this coming from? And it's a wake up call. I'm open to any questions. Please try to focus them towards all your CAF and visa and all. Prayag is the master. There is no one better you can find any edu advisory or any education counselor. He's the one. So try to focus your questions on what you want from here, how something more than just the process, because process guy, you got a master with you. Just follow his steps. I know it's hard to do, but just follow it and you'll be fine. So let's go. I'm ready, guys.
Right, John, thanks. There's one thing that I'd like to add to what Jahan mentioned, and this is very important for everyone to know. And this is what we tried last year as well. We had like hundreds of students in the groups, and we would invite them for webinars, and barely 18, 20 students would join in. Even today, how many do we have? We have 15, including both of us. So that's around 13. But that's not the point. The point is that most of the students from India, and I'm not blaming these students because, that is what they are going for. The first thing that they are thinking from day one as in even from the moment when they are applying to KEDGE, let alone flying to KEDGE, the first thing that comes to their mind is jobs, internships,
Yes.
salaries.
Yes.
And that is what is reflected in the questions as well, yesterday, today, and I'm sure these questions would come in future as well. And you saw this trend last year as well, Jahan. So this is a year-on-year trend. This is not something new, and there is nothing to be blamed, nobody to be blamed. But the point is, what Jahan mentioned, you need to be skilled enough, and you need to prepare yourself for that. Obviously, we all know that language skills are going to help you a lot. But you remember, Jahan, last year we had a discussion related to skills, and most of the students, when they were applying, when they were interested, or when they were asking questions related to jobs and internship, they were not even aware about simple things like Microsoft Excel or soft skills, which you emphasized on, or having a LinkedIn profile, having a professional DP on LinkedIn, writing regular articles on LinkedIn. These are the kind of soft skills everybody should have. In fact, you should always remember what kind of programs you're applying for. Yesterday, somebody asked a very good question to supply chain student, and the question was, Deepak, do you recommend any softwares that I should learn before coming to supply chain program at Bordeaux? Nobody asked this question. Everybody
Yeah.
would want to ask, and this is not a KEDGE thing. This is a generic thing for any school. Somebody is going to the US, they would be asking the same question. What
I
about
get
job?
it.
What about
I
internship? What about
know.
salary?
I
So,
can,
so
what, Prayag, I
yeah,
understand what you're getting at, but it is important that students, or aspiring people, companies are going to train you for their internal systems, right? Now, what is important is that you have something called critical thinking. Software is nothing but, I mean, yes, you need to have Excel, you need to have your full Microsoft. If you do not know this, skip, come next year, you'll suffer. So if you do not know all of these things, you don't need to know something fancy, you don't need to know some high tech software. But if I go to work in Ecolab and then from there I move to Reckitt or then I move to Henkel, they're going to have their internal systems. You need to have critical thinking, you need to have soft skills, because if you don't understand something, we had this Indian mentality of brushing it under the table, kar lenge, dekh lenge, this jugaad mindset, maybe working in our country, but in a top company, they audit each thing, including they will audit you. And I promise you, from the interviews I've given, I am uh, the guy. You can ask my friends Ria and Amrit on this call. I think I'm the smartest in the room. I got humbled so badly when I entered these interviews. they, and not just me, they catch any shana out there and they'll make, because they'll ask you questions, and they're not easy questions, nothing technical. They don't some mathematical questions perhaps, but nothing technical. What they ask you, they just want to understand your thinking, and they're not going to question it. They're going to question your understanding of giving that explanation. Like, why did you explain this point, and what makes you think you are right? So you are entitled to an opinion, back it up by some sort of thought. Having hard skills like Excel, extremely important. If you do not know it, please come next year. If you do not know MS Word, uh, maybe entrepreneurship, I don't know, choose something else. But you have to learn, you have to do it. There's no option. It is your bread and butter. You have to know Microsoft Excel, you have to know Microsoft Word, you have to know how to use ChatGPT, you have to know command prompting, you have to have critical thinking. And that doesn't mean you should know chess and all. You should understand how to think critically, what matters, what doesn't matter. Public speaking is going to be your bread and butter, because nothing in KEDGE is submitted, everything is presented. And you will learn this the hard way if you're an introverted person, that you may be really good at the computer, but when you go to present, suddenly the anxiety and God knows what all hits you, and you make such a mess. And I feel I've got some very close Chinese friends. Their minds are like missiles. They're too sharp. They're weapons. They can beat me in anything except for when it comes to present. So we are, of course, we made these small groups and we have this competition and we are winning. Why? Because these guys do the sharp work, and I go and present and we finish. No one can stop us. French guys are down and out. So yeah, it is important that you have hard skills, but I cannot emphasize on the importance of soft skills. It's going to be your currency of communication here. And soft skills just doesn't mean formal. I mean informal. I mean etiquette. I've seen a number of Indian students, when they get up from the KEDGE canteen, their chairs are just 2 feet apart. Nobody bothers pushing it back in. Now, this is like basic 101 we were taught in fifth standard. And stuff like this catches my eye, and I'm sure it catches everyone else's eye. And this is something that is etiquette. And if we don't refine ourselves in our school environment, you're going to do it in a corporate environment. You're going to face the outcome of that. So, Prayag, I would like you to spend at least 1 minute, emphasizing this, because you've been at KEDGE. You know how the French clan up, and why do they clan up? They're doing 5 years together. It's not like they hate Indians. But if you and I study for 5 years together, it's going to be difficult to make a Nigerian friend, to make an Algerian friend. How many of us have Nepali friends? How many of us have Pakistani friends? How many of us have Nigerian friends? They are all coming to study in India. Why are they not our friends? There's a reason for that. We have preconceived notion about who they are as people, and if they slightly also tilt towards a bias of yes, yes, that's how he is, confirmed, out of the group. So it is up to us, and I think I'm privileged enough to have many foreign friends, and it's not been easy for me. I don't speak any French at all. I've given up actually. Heavily criticizing the KEDGE system of teaching French. It's almost bullshit, and I've made my opinion quite strongly heard. So guys, you have to come out of this clan mentality. You have to work on yourselves, and you have to take that step of feeling insecure, vulnerable, accepting all of these, because people here are beautiful. They are very healthy, they take care of themselves, they look different from us, and all of these things excite us. And at that point, if you behave in a funny manner, you will be judged with the prejudice that perhaps other people have brought our nation, just like we would judge a Nigerian or a Pakistani or a Kashmiri who's come to Maharashtra to study. And I've judged, I've been part of being judged, so I completely understand this social dynamic. I hope you all are getting what I'm trying to emphasize. Right, Prayag?
Right.
Do you get what I'm
Yes,
trying to say?
perfect. Yeah, absolutely. Now let's go to the questions, Jahan. I think that's very interesting what you just mentioned, and it
Cool.
would probably resonate with others too. So there are
Go.
certain questions that we'd like to answer. There's a couple of questions by Rahul. I think they are
Rahul
very
has
simple
sent a story.
questions.
Rahul, what's up,
Yeah, but
bro? I think you should just
it's
talk to me, Rahul. This is too
yeah.
much to read.
But his questions are very simple. The first question is about his work rights. How can he work? Where can he work? Internship, part-time jobs. That is basically related to government rights
Is
provided to him.
Rahul
And
on this call?
secondly,
Rahul, are you on the call here?
Acha.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Rahul is there.
Hi, Rahul. Talk to me. Leave this
Yeah, Rahul, I
question.
think it's better you
Better
talk
you
to
talk to me
Jahan
because
directly, huh?
based on your communication, I will be able to guide you better. I feel I'm no master myself. I'm quite a joker. I've accomplished almost nothing other than having fun. So don't. I mean, I'm just a normal guy, but I'm a truthful guy. I'm not here to spin any tail, and I'm going to call. I'm going to try to be as honest as I can. So I think it's best you communicate with me. This whole paragraph I'll have to copy into GPT to give you an answer. Yeah. Too
No
much.
problem. Actually, I'm going to study in France for I'm to program for my business analytics and business.
Okay.
My first question is what is my basic rights if I go and just admission I got an admission in university,
Hmm.
and what is my working rights? And
Do you
because
know
I
French?
searched on a
Do you
Google,
speak French?
no.
So you are eligible to do anything you like. You can work as much as you want. There's no limitation. But if you do not know French, it's going to be rather difficult for you to find yourself a part-time job here, say in the canteen or in a store. If you have a
Okay.
skill set, if you have a skill set like data analytics, and you are able to market yourself on LinkedIn, and you can perhaps you have a chance of getting gigs like this. So if I was in your place, if you don't know French or you are if you don't know French, forget getting a part-time job because there are no. It's brutally French over here. They know and they speak and communicate, and that's the reality. So if you don't know French, if you're going to look for a job in English, good luck. It's really difficult. Possibly 0.1 or maybe 2% of people would be successful. I haven't met anybody who doesn't speak French working in a part-time job, and that's the reality. If you have a skill set, work on your skill set, make yourself a website, be able to sell yourself here, and you will be able to get gigs that perhaps pay you higher than the median wage. Kedge itself can be your client if you play your cards right. Speaking to you, you come across as a guy who could be smart in data work. So make yourself a small portfolio, like Prayag said. Make sure your LinkedIn is up to the mark, and then perhaps you don't need to look at part-time work. Don't be afraid to look at getting qualified skilled work, because if you don't know French, I don't think you can become a waiter or a person in decathlon or a cashier. French numbers are ridiculously hard, and imagine being a cashier with all those quatre cinq and God knows. Brutal, brutal. Yeah, difficult. Don't dream about it. Not possible. If you don't know French, work on an alternative strategy.
Yeah, actually, I've been in France like in 2013 and 2014. I was
Okay.
in France, and I was working for the Federation of Français de Droit,
Okay.
and it was yeah. So the I know the little bit French, but
Okay.
I just wanted to know the level of the French. What should be like if I want to join an indefinite term of working contract, because I know after getting an 1 year's master specialization in the stream, and
Hmm.
what is like I can see myself after 1 year. So what is my job opportunities in
Yeah,
France?
opportunities are endless, man. It's based on your potential, Rahul. There is the I mean, if I was no one can see the future, but Prayag will attest to it. It's on who you are. It's how you network. It's how you present yourself. It's how you hold yourself in a conversation. Your
Okay.
course is not going to bring any companies in. Where purchasing stands out is because my program director brings in about 8 to 12 billion-dollar companies, and because of that, out of the 74 people, 62 are already placed. So this is the unique aspect of what MSc, International Purchasing and Innovation, does. And I'm quite sure there's no other program that has done it. Other courses take you to a whatever campus and all of the jazz. But what my program specializes in, and that's why it makes it super secure, and that's why I moved from international business, is because Gordon said 100% you will get an opportunity to get it to work, and that did happen. Within 6 to 8 months of me being here, I've been recruited by a company, multi-billion-dollar company, and I'm going to start working with them in September. So your opportunity is endless, Rahul. The field of work you are in is in demand. From what I can hear, you sound smart. You could work a little bit on your English, a little bit on your grammar, a little bit on your soft skills. Get used to presenting and public speaking, and you're good to go. The sky is the limit. You can become an entrepreneur. You can do anything you like. But when the time comes to be able to present yourself and present your ideas, you cannot make verbal grammatical errors. You cannot be hesitant, because the person you're competing next to is refined in all of these things, and they are extremely skillful. And sometimes we feel as Indians that usko job mil gaya because he's a French guy. It's certainly not that. Companies will pay for the best. They don't care. The money is surplus. They will pay. They will sponsor. They are multi-billion-dollar companies. They don't care about your visa. They are least bothered. They want performance. So if you can drive impact, if you're able to present yourself seamlessly, no grammatical errors, with confidence, sky is the limit. You can become a CEO. France is the place for you to mint money. Globally, you can make money. There is no problem. So I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
Right, perfect. Thank you. Let's move to the next question. It's by Himanshu. He says, should I go for MIM or should I go for MSc? So the thing is, Jahan, I think it's pretty similar to what you were actually planning to go for, because you're not going for MIM, you're going for MIB. But again, MIB and MIM are pretty similar because they both offer generalization of management courses, and MSc on the other hand is a specialization. So do you have anything to add here?
Yes, Himanshu, are you on the call? Would you like to talk to me for a second? Himanshu? No? Himanshu's typing. Okay, you're feeling shy. Himanshu, you check out my program, MSc International Purchasing. If you're clueless and you have no idea what's going on, you check out what I've sent you, Letitia's LinkedIn. You look at the opportunity, the job offerings. She's posting every day. I think there are more offerings than students right now. So uh, if you are refined in soft skills, if you have some interest in business, I don't think you should look further than the purchasing program, because what we can assure you is that there are more offers and less students. And if you want proof, you can check Letitia's LinkedIn. There's another lady, Simona. I can post hers as well. You can just check it out. There's ample potential. There's a lot of money to be made, provided you're good. So if you are good and if you think there is value, forget MIM, forget any other. Just come here. Don't think. Take the leap of faith. You'll thank me in maybe 1 year from now. You'll be where I am, which is sorted, secured with the job, and feeling really, really nice. You took that leap.
Right, perfect. Let's move ahead. Next one is Hitain about internship. Is it difficult to find one? I think you already touched upon that and you pretty much explained how to find
It's
internships.
difficult. I mean, what about my friends who are in marketing and international business? They struggle. I mean, they're crying right now. And that is in India, that is in USA, that is in France, that is universal. Anybody who's looking for something is struggling. Yes. If you do not network well, if you network well, there's no problem. If you do not, what does it mean to network, right? You have to understand the nuances. Is it difficult? Yes. Can you do it? Yes. Does it take effort and you have to think out of the box? Yes. What course is he doing again, this guy? Hitain, what are you studying, Hitain?
Hitain, maybe you
Hitain,
can unmute yourself and ask Jahan directly, no?
they are attending like how I used to attend my webinars from the bed.
He's doing MSc marketing.
You're doing MSc marketing. Hitain, you can connect with Khushi. She's a Charpak scholar. She's a good friend of mine. And she's C1 level French. She's in Marseille. So she's an M1 student. She's struggling a little bit to find an internship. So if you would like a little bit of reality, you connect with Khushi Mehta, her name is. Prayag can give you her information. Extremely smart girl. If I get a chance to recruit her, oh my God, easy, any day. So you get in touch with her, Hitain. I cannot share a LinkedIn here. Prayag will share it if he thinks it's all right. I don't think I'm going to take that decision. Yeah, it is. Marketing is difficult. You have to understand you have to have a global perspective. You have to have refined communication. And I cannot reiterate, if you are making grammatical errors while communicating in English, I would strongly recommend you work on yourselves, because you have to have strength, panache, confidence, because your peers are high level people. And L'Oreal, etc., come and they recruit a large bunch of kids. They recruit for 10 months or 6 months, and then they let go, because for them it is cost cutting, and then you become cost cutting labor. So when you go in your internship, you really have to outshine. Competition is everywhere. uh, Brutal competition is what it is. And people are thinking, oh, it's French, oh, it's because visa. I can promise you, $1 billion company doesn't care two hoots whether you are Indian, Nepali, Pakistan, they do not care at all. They want value added people. And if you cannot bring value, that's it. They're simply, and if you can bring value, oh my God, they're going to pick you up. They're going to pick you up, and they're going to pay you well, and they're going to keep you. And Kedge does that. Kedge people, French guys pay, instead of paying 200 euros, they pay 50,000 for 5 years. Why? Because of the network. And there's a fantastic quote, right? It's not the grades you get, but it's not the grades you make, but the hands you shake. So Kedge is the shaker of hands. So Kedge has this beautiful reputation in whatever you are, wherever you go. Kedge, Kedge, oh yeah, super, bobo, fancy, you know your stuff. But at that point, if you cannot deliver, and you cannot learn soft skills overnight, you cannot even learn it in 1 week. Even Excel, you cannot learn in 1 week. So these things you have to practice. And if you do not practice, when you're standing in front of all your peers, you will remember me and you will be like, shit, I should have done it. So good luck, guys. If you're in marketing, you really have to be well above your game, because marketing students, the French guys, are super smart. I mean, they are good looking, they are smart, they are really there. They're there to work.
All right, perfect. Let's move ahead.
Excuse me, pardon, monsieur.
Hmm.
I just wanted
No,
to know that whether completing a 1 year M2 program makes me eligible for a 1 year or a 2 year APS.
2 years, do 2 years.
2 years.
If I like, if I have a study a single year, like I'm going to join M2, it's the second year. I'm not going to studying from a pathway program. I will directly join M2,
Yeah,
second year.
understood. It's
So I
two
will get
years
a
for
2 year
everyone.
APS.
2 years, two
Thank
years.
you. Merci.
No worries. Jishnu says, what is your suggestion to pay higher price and book accommodation closer to college, or to
Yes.
seek lower price accommodation a little bit away from the college?
That's my regret. If Prayag was mentioning, I regret. I'm staying in Villeneuve d'Orno, 45 minutes away. My cafe is beautiful, 301 euros. I pay a total of 620 euros. So Bordeaux is very expensive. I don't know how rich everyone is, but everyone likes money. So if you like your money, cafe is superb. Try to find student residencies. What I am staying at is called Studently. It's a student residency. It is not Studapart. Studapart is nothing but an aggregator of services. So Prayag is going to fill you in. He, again, stay closer to college. You can use the faculties like the library and the gym and all of that. If I could change one thing, I can still, but I'm rather lazy to move now. I would stay closer to college. And if you can afford it, you can stay downtown, which is super social, super cool. But wherever you stay, 45 minutes is going to be the travel time. If you stay in Talents next to Kedge, possibly 10 or 15 minutes. I would recommend, and if I could redo anything, I would like to stay closer to Kedge. So yes, ideally choose a property closer to Kedge. You can use Kedge more often. Here I don't. I mean, it's too much. 45 minutes just to go to the gym and all. I'm like, forget it. So if you're closer, you can use, yeah, for sure. And you make friends. So try to find a student residency where you meet some international people, get some energy going. Yeah.
Right, perfect. There's this last question from the chat, and then we go to Ria. So last question is from Amalnath, who says, what, according to you, are the downsides of studying at KEDGE?
Ooh, well,
And just to add here, one thing, I mean, of course, I would talk more about it in details. Jahan is studying #1 purchasing program in the world. So I don't know if there is any downside of studying the #1 purchasing program in the world. But yes, there would be downsides too, pretty much for everything. Jahan could share his experience. I can probably add a couple of things in my perspective,
you know,
although I'm not based in France. Jahan is based in France, so he would know more.
yeah,
I think the first downside would be that it's a French school based in France. So you need to learn French to have better career opportunities, better life, better standard of life, and more convenient life. If it was in the Ireland or UK or Malta, you would have managed. But it's based in Western Europe. So a European language would definitely help. We have had students. There was a student, I don't recall her name. She was from Pune 5, 6 years back. She didn't learn any French. She learned German, and since then, she's been working in Berlin in a financial organization. So, if you're going to a European school, the first downside, which could also be an advantage later, would be, see, again, it depends. As Jahan mentioned, Khushi is C1 in French. So, for her, it cannot be a downside. downside for me would be different compared to what it would be for Jahan or for somebody who speaks French. So that's number one. Apart from that, I don't think there are any downsides. Jahan, if you would want to add something.
There are downsides for sure. Prayag is being kind to you all. Uh, the first downside would be that you're entering a system where people are already friends for the last 4 to 5 years. You're entering a system where people have traveled to possibly 14 to 15 different countries. They bring to the table a rather varied perspective, and sometimes it is very difficult to integrate. And this is not just me who's speaking. If you talk to more alum, you'll understand that there's certain cliques and clans that get made. I consider myself rather socially agile, and in spite of my social agility, I find it rather difficult to understand how they think and be invited. And it's difficult. So it's not a downside. I would call it a challenge. There is no downside of Kedge. Kedge takes a lot of money from you, and it gives you value for that money, provided you live up to the standard. So if you ask me, Prayag has created, or Prayag is your driver for this moment, he's going to give you. But when you get the steering wheel and when you're sitting in front and you do not know, you mistake the accelerator for the brake, who are you going to blame? You're going to blame the car, or you're going to blame yourself. So Kedge is like the Mercedes Benz. You're getting a guy like Prayag who's going to ensure you sit in that car. That's his problem. That's his headache. So once you are in the car and you mistake the gear for the music system knob, make a fool of yourself, nobody's coming to save you. So you have to really toughen up, in the sense you have to be able to take rejection. You have to get worldly smart. It's all a learning process. It's not going to happen overnight. You're going to miss your family. You're going to have to deal with the weather. uh, there's no downside. Kedge is too good, too good, in fact so good that I fear our ability to match up to their standard, because what they are doing. And if you don't know French, like I don't know French, so what do I lose out on? I lose out on all the associations. I lose out on all the damn events. I didn't even have an Instagram before coming because I don't care, but turns out that's quite an Instagram heavy life here. So fine, I get onto that. um, it's fast paced. People are super cool. By cool, I don't mean like some yo-yo honey sing kind of. I mean they are open-minded to any perspective and any lifestyle you bring. So at this point, you cannot showcase your prejudice. You cannot showcase any sort of silliness, because you will be judged. They are all young kids, 20, 25. Just like you judge them, they judge you. And just like we would judge a Nigerian or a Pakistani because we have set prejudice in our mind, they have set prejudice for us. And they've also been together for 5 years. So even if you guys, 5 years, all of you guys are friends and I come in, it's difficult for me, right? So it's not a downside, but it is certainly a challenge you have to train yourself to overcome. And well, another downside would be that the professors are rather demanding. It's not a joke. You can't just come in and expect a breeze. They grill you, and sometimes you really are like, oh my god, I could have taken anything easier. If you have spoken something or you've presented something, you better know why. There's no bullshitting. Like, you cannot bullshit here, and I'm a bullshit master, so big reality check for me. You think GPT is going to help you? These guys, professors, are getting trained in that as we speak. And I assure you the training is working because they're catching us. Deep sea, grog, God knows what all we have tried. It's not going to work. So there's no shortcuts. You have to be true. You have to believe in who you are. And Kedge is a very good Mercedes. If you're going to drive it and bugger it up, it's up to you. If you understand the basics, it's going to last you a lifetime. So it's individual. There's no downside for what Kedge does. It's a downside to what you bring to the table. It is how I would look at it.
All right, perfect. Thanks, Jahan. So a couple of quick questions. I'm just going to read all of them to save time. So there's a question related to, can you please give me a brief conclusion? I just want to ask if I don't have any work ex, graduated a few months ago. What should I? Okay, this is something that you already answered. MI versus MSc internship, you already answered. Do you have written mid-sems and end-sems, or is it a presentation-based grading? Maybe you can touch upon this a little bit. Jahan, the grading pattern. Do you have written examinations or presentation-based grading? Although just to
Presentation
add,
based
just to,
reading,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, just to add something here, Mehek, it also depends on your program. For
Course,
example,
yeah.
programs like marketing, These are more presentation focused. Programs like supply chain, these are more simulation focused. Programs like finance, these are more Excel or softwares focused, sometimes written as well. So every
Yeah.
program would be different. But again, Jahan, you can share your experience
You
of
know, you
choosing.
don't worry about the grading. You don't worry about the grading. You worry about whether you're ready to. The grading is super easy. Professors are super kind. It's really difficult. It's not a joke. So the exams are all sorts. They're written. They're online. They're presentation. Whatever you have typed out, it's all of them. It's group work. It's group discussion. So don't worry about this. It doesn't matter whatever it is. You be ready. They can change anytime. And with AI coming, professors are cooking up weird things for us. You know, they're really smart guys here. So there's no, it's not like India where you give a paper and submit. No, no, some three, four things all together add up and give you a grade. It's completely, do not have any prejudice. India में syllabus मिलेगा और वो पढ़ के लेंगे और MCQ, big change. It's totally dynamic. It's vast. They don't care whether you're using AI or no. They'll hunt you when their time comes. So be ready to have an opinion, have critical thinking. Don't worry about the grading system. It's dynamic and it is what is expected from you in a corporate. How your manager will review you, they will review you. So it's just going to lead to that. Don't
Right.
worry about
Thanks.
it.
Yeah. Thanks, John. I think we're done with the written questions.
Oh,
Now
super.
there's one person raising their hand. Ria. Ria, over to you.
Bonjour, Jahan.
Hello.
So, hi. So my question is, I'm sorry, it's related to internships. From your experience and observations, are there candidates that maybe say have like 5 or 6 years of experience? Do they land jobs that are like a little bit higher in the corporate structure? Like for example, I have around 9 to 10 years of work ex. So would I be applying for entry level internships, or would I also be eligible to apply for like maybe like a higher, like a managerial position?
Oh no, you are
And my
allowed to do what you like, Ria. You are eligible to do anything, and KEDGE is such a dynamic environment that if you get a CDE contract, they will support you. No one is here to cut, but like I reiterated, right? If you follow the norm, and just like you, I have some work experience. I'm still going to start off as an internship, but when I spoke to my employers, they said that the internship is part of your curriculum. You finish the 6 months, and then we review you, and based on your performance, you're going to get placed. So if in your process you're lucky, you don't even have to do an internship, you get a full-time job because your experience is fantastic, they're going to pick you up. They're not going to think twice. So don't worry. Kedge supports you if you get an opportunity. In fact, they are the biggest supporters of opportunity. So don't think that they will not. But yeah, if you do not get that, you're going to start an internship just like somebody who has no work ex. And but that's good for you because you will get the opportunity to stand out, right? You've already worked. It'll be a piece of cake, and um, the people you're dealing with are not going. They're not fools. The guys who are evaluating you will, because they know if they don't keep you, you're going to leave. They know your value. They'll keep you. So don't worry about that. If you finish your 6 months internship as an intern, doesn't mean that you're going to have to start as a junior. If you finish your internship as part of your curriculum, and then you can work as a manager, brand manager, whatever is the designation you wish to pursue. And if you happen to get a contract, Kedge will support you. They will do what it takes to ensure you go through with it. Don't worry. That I can be sure of.
understood. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Right. Thanks, Jahan. Okay, so we are done with the questions. Now we are basically about to wrap up the session, Jahan. We've been
Super.
very happy. I can speak on behalf of everyone that you took out time and spoke to everyone. I think we need to do
Absolutely.
more such sessions with you precisely. I'm not talking about other students. I'm not talking about alumni. More such students with you. And hopefully you would be here in India. I don't know when, probably with Gordon, and that would be a great time
Yeah.
to do probably a tour with you. Okay, but any final tips, Jahan, for
I got
not just these
you.
students, but also for those who are not able to join us today and they would be seeing your recording probably tomorrow or day after? What is your final feedback besides learning French, integrating into the new culture? What is your final word for all of them?
You do not come here and become. It's very tempting to be part of a clan. It's really tempting to just be part of an all India diaspora and be within your comfort zone. uh, it takes it takes a lot to be around people who are speaking a language you don't know, and day in and day out and repeatedly, and then you go out with them and still the same thing, you are just clueless with what's happening. So it takes a lot. I really questioned and felt weird. I was lucky that they accepted me, and they will accept anyone. But just like you would take time to accept a Pakistani or a Nigerian in your campus, what does it take for them? You have to fit in, and this requires you to be patient because you are a guest in their country. You are visiting. You are new to their campus and faculty. If you need to go to a bank, because that's going to be, you need to know administrative work. It's these guys, the locals, who will help you. And you don't need 100 friends, 200 friends, but you need to have one or two local friends. And it's very important that you understand their perspective. It's very important that right from now, whatever queries, whatever group chat you're doing, you're not using Hindi, and you try to be English, try to refine. It's difficult. I face the same difficulty as you. I'm the same guy. I'm you 1 year ago. So if you guys are still asking silly questions to Prayag about admission, how are you going to survive here, I'm like, wow. It's almost funny. Like, if you're clueless about this, and Prayag is an expert spoon feeder. So my advice to Prayag would be to let them give them a little bit harsh treatment. Let them see what it is like here in Bordeaux or in France. Things are slow. No one's going to guide you. No one's going to sit. If you don't do it, bad luck. No one is here to look after you. So try to step out of your comfort zone. Try to get out of your India clique. Be part of it. Have your friends, sure, but it takes a lot to be out and integrate wholly with the foreign community. And if you don't do it now, you're not going to be able to do it in your companies. And your true test is not even KEDGE, it's when you do your internship. Because if you do your internship right, you get a beautiful salary. And after your salary is set, it's not going to come down because no company is going to pay you less than what you were earning before. So I wish you all the very best of luck. You have a superhero Prayag here doing the really brutal work of making this complex process easy. Please listen, follow the steps, try to communicate in English, try to refine public speaking. If you do not refine your public speaking, you are going to definitely experience a little bit of difficulty here. So take whatever opportunity you get to speak publicly. Even talking to me here is so much nervousness and anxiety. I'm sure you must be feeling. On the other end, breakthrough. If you don't, you're going to learn the hard way. And we hope that Prayag and I are not here to make a life difficult. We hope that you have an easy life because happiness makes, multiplied. So to be happy, it's going to be painful. You're going to have to feel those insecurities, accept it. And you've taken a fantastic decision choosing KEDGE. So live up to what KEDGE can offer. Don't fall short of the power that it has. It's a superb organization. So try your best to live up to what they can offer, and you will be just like me, proud, satisfied, and rather excited to get started. So good luck to everybody here.
Thank you, Jahan. And rest assured, we didn't pay anything to Jahan. So Jahan is just a
Yeah,
proud,
I'm not.
satisfied
I
student,
should
and
be. I will be
he's
invited.
a, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm very happy for Jahan. I mean, just a nostalgic point to mention. I still remember I met Jahan for the first time. I think there was some mall in outside the parking. I don't recall the name because I'm not a Punekar, but I go to Pune like 4 or 5 times a year,
yeah.
and there were other students as well. Kushi was there. There was this
Uh,
um
Anushka was there. Yeah,
there was one more girl who went for international business. I don't remember her name. There were all these beautiful students. Pune remains my favorite city in India. Pune also remains one of the biggest hubs for KEDGE aspirants. We have a lot of students. I mean, regardless of the numbers of students, I would still don't know. I mean, I can check on the CRM which city sends maximum number of students to KEDGE, but in terms of maximum interaction, I think
hmm
it's Pune. If I go to Chennai, even in Delhi, I live in Delhi. So I go out in Delhi tomorrow and I tell everyone, look, let's catch up for a meetup. And even if there are 20 applicants, I would be meeting probably two of them. But in Pune, if there are 20 students, all 20 would come. I think Amrit was there last time. Jahan
yeah,
was there. Amrit was kind enough to come this time as well last month. I met him. So
Yes.
Pune is a
Yes,
fantastic
Prayag.
place. And you went for international business, and then you met Gordon. Entire life changed. You went for
yeah.
um, purchasing program. Gordon is super proud of you, and we are all super proud of you. So I'm really happy for you. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep it up. I wish you all the best.
Thank you
And
so much.
hopefully some of these students would be coming to Bordeaux and would be catching up with you. And do let me know when you plan India, or whenever I come to
Yeah,
France, we'll be happy to meet you.
for sure. That I look forward to that, and you get what I'm saying about the soft skills and the social communication, right? It is something that if you can be super good and super talented, like the Chinese girl, she's a weapon in Excel. You can give her any nonsense, and she'll give you an interactive dashboard in maybe 15-20 minutes. But her phonetics and her accent and her communication is so off that she's unable to find an internship. And I'm like, dude, you're better than me in almost every aspect. So I think the true currency is your ability to communicate, because that is what employers are truly looking for. If you're good in hard skills, AI is there to replace you. So soft skills is one thing they can't.
Right, perfect. Thank you so much, John, for those
Super
kind
guys, take
words.
care.
And thanks for taking out time. I wish you all the best. And thanks everyone for joining in. As you know, this is a webinars week. So tomorrow we have Prodigy Finance. So whoever is interested in education loans and everything, join us tomorrow and day after, back-to-back
Yeah.
finance webinars.
And please
So
make
have
it
a
act
nice
like
evening.
easy without asking the silly questions.
You remember daily consultation at 7 last year. Now it's
I
moved
remember
to
losing my
6.
cool on a couple of guys who still, I think, here hold a vengeance towards me. I find it funny almost. I'm like, wow, funny fellows. But anyways, they
Well,
may be a little jealous of my friends now. They can't help it. Uh,
there are always two kind of people, Jahan.
yeah. So, anyways,
Anyway, thanks for your time and thank you
see you
everyone.
guys.
Have a wonderful evening.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thanks, Prayag. Thanks,
Bye.
Jahan.